Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is Matty here from Chill TCG. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Grand Finals match from the 444 player Chill Series number 27 PTCGO tournament. It was a great outcome, a great just turnout for people to play in the tournament here. I'm very, very excited. Today we're going to be watching Rahul Reddy. We're going to be watching from his perspective playing Rabbit Strike Urshifu VMAX. And he's going against this guy here named Plariers. I'm not exactly sure his real name, but he was playing a really cool, unique Mewtwo and Mew GX deck. Not anything typing-wise specific, kind of just like a psychic version with some other tech attackers thrown in there, and he was running the Aurora Energies. This isn't technically a great matchup for Rahul, however, he does have a lot of tech cards in place. He's got a lot of things in his deck to deal with this type of matchup. Of course, he does have Mimikyu, he does have the Jirachi-GX in his deck, and he does have Giratina as well. However, Plariers is running a Stealthy Hood in his Mewtwo Mew GX deck list, which is going to make it so, of course, that Giratina and that Mimikyu are, of course, not going to be able to do anything to whatever Pokemon that Stealthy Hood is attached to, so that could come in clutch here. We're going to watch Rahul here. He starts off with the Jirachi. He is going to be going first. He starts with a Quick Ball, a whole lot of Pokemon in his hand. Kind of electing to grab that Urshifu right off the gate here, but what we don't see is an energy in his hand, and that's going to be a little bit tough. But you know what? He is going to put that Jirachi-GX down immediately, and it looks like he's just going to head and perhaps pass his turn without any cards or any more cards being played. No energy attached or anything like that. Plariers is starting with Eldegoss. Now, there aren't a whole lot of Pokemon in Plariers' deck. I'm just going to call him... I might just call him Player? I'm going to call him Player. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it. There's not a lot of Pokemon in Player's deck, which he really would like to start the game with. A lot of the deck lists, or a lot of the Mewtwo and Mew GX deck lists have a lot of cards that you don't necessarily want to start with in the Urshifu matchup, but a lot of cards that could be useful. And Eldegoss is definitely not an ideal starting card, but we're going to see Player here. He goes ahead right off the bat with the Cherish Ball. He's going to look through his deck, check his prize card. It's going to be definitely a really good thing to do here. Both players played phenomenally throughout the entire tournament. Rapid Strike Urshifu, of course, one of the best decks in the format. Rahul, obviously one of the high-level players in our game right now, but I'm not personally familiar with Player here, personally, but I do know that he had a fantastic run. In this Mewtwo and Mew GX deck list, it's very difficult to play. It's a very high skill gap deck list, a lot of different avenues, a lot of different paths you can take with this list. It definitely takes a skilled pilot to play this deck to a successful finals run here. So he goes right off the bat, grabs the Gengar and Mimikyu, puts the Big Charm on it. He puts down the Mewtwo and Mew GX, puts the, I don't see what energy that is. Maybe that is the Aurora energy. And he goes ahead and has that Stealthy Hood right off the gate, which is going to be huge for Player here. And he Dedenne's out. He puts the Air Balloon onto the Eldegoss, so all insane things going. A perfect first turn for him so far. Might be able to get that Whorehouse GX off as well. And he discards the Vileplume GX, which is going to give him that really good option for 2 energies to hit for 180, which is obviously a really great attacker if you have that Aurora energy attached, of course. A really good option. A lot of times we do see that in Mewtwo and Mew GX. Really good in the mirror match as well. 2 energies, and you get to go ahead and take the KO here. On other Mewtwo and Mew GXs, but 180 damage is going to be solid nonetheless, but yes, that will be an Aurora energy, and he's actually going to go ahead and Star Search using the Jirachi-GX attack, I believe, which is going to be very, very interesting. He's going to search through his deck, and I believe what this attack does, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that the Star Search searches for a couple cards, or maybe it's energies. Yeah, so he just grabs a Horror energy from his deck and just attaches it directly to that Mewtwo and Mew GX here. Rahul does top deck the energy, which is pretty nice, so he's going to go ahead and evolve into the VMAX attached to it. Still has the Stellar Wish Jirachi in the active spot, has a Crobat and a Dedenne in hand to draw some more cards. Of course, does have the Boss's Orders if he decides to use it, and he has the Giratina. He's actually going to put that down, but forgets about the Stealthy Hood, which is a little bit, of course, upsetting for sure, but you know what? I think Rahul kind of just wants that Giratina in play nonetheless. So maybe not a misplay on his part. Of course, I'm not 100% sure, but definitely, a little bit sketchy, right? Just with that Stealthy Hood, a very smart tech to be putting in these Mewtwo decks because, of course, Giratina and Mimikyu are extremely important when you're playing Urshifu VMAX in this matchup. So, of course, definitely going to help out Player a lot. He puts the Air Balloon onto the Urshifu here, and he's actually researching away the energy in the Boss's Orders, draws a whole bunch of other cards here. A couple energies, gets the 1-1 Urshifu line there, another Jirachi in the Pokecom, but no switching option, unfortunately, so he's going to go head-to-head and just pass his turn. Now, Player here, he's got a Mewtwo and Mew GX with that Stealthy Hood in the active spot. He's got the Horror energy attached, the Aurora energy. Now he's got 2 Aurora energies, discarding, what was that, is that the Giratina GX? I'm not even sure exactly what that was. Kind of hard to see from the small screen that I'm watching it at right now. But he actually switches back into the Eldegoss, and we're going to see the Boss's Orders come out. into the Jirachi-GX, and he's just going to be like, you know what? I'm going to KO this thing immediately so I can start hitting for weakness on these Urshifu VMAXs. So a very good move from him. And again, that massive bloom for a 2 energy attack cost is doing 180 damage. It does less damage for each damage counter that is attached to your Mewtwo and Mew GX. Or has been done to the Pokemon that's using the attack. So, of course, since Mewtwo has no damage counters onto it, it's doing the full 180. And we're going to go ahead and see Rahul here. Quick Ball away his other martial arts dojo. Looking through his deck here, kind of figuring what the best option is going to be here. In a difficult position for sure. I mean, this Mewtwo and Mew GX, of course, is now hitting for weakness now that the Jirachi GX is gone. And, of course, is kind of immune to all effects because of that stealthy hood. So, definitely primed and ready. We're going to see him attach the Rapid Strike energy to his other Urshifu, and we're going to see him calm away the Jirachi, and he's going to grab the Dedenne, and he's going to go ahead and discard the Urshifu, the Mew, and a Fighting Energy. Finds the Karate Belt, which could be pretty cool here. Has the Marnie in hand, has a Research, and another Pokecom. But again, no switching options, so he's going to hope to find that with a Stellar Wish here, and get some damage off early onto this Mew, this Mewtwo and Mew GX, which could be, of course, really, really good. It's probably going to be your number one option. He elects to actually just go ahead and research away the hand here. Does draw into the Switch, the Scoop Up Net, and the Great Catcher, and as well as just seeing a whole bunch of awesome cards in the top of his deck here with the Stellar Wish. Grabs the Scoop Up Net, so he's got 2 of those in hand now. And we're going to go ahead, see him switch into the Urshifu. And now we're going to see the Great Catcher, so maybe bringing up one of those Dedennes to take a KO this turn could be really big. And he's going to do that. He's going to take a nice 2 prize cards. No longer being behind on prize cards, so that extra damage isn't going to be, relevant right now with the martial arts dojo. But now this Mewtwo and Mew GX is pretty much ready to just go ahead and get the one-hit KO on this Urshifu, which is not good, right? It's not good at all for Rahul, mainly just because he doesn't really have any answers. Urshifu was in a deck that really can take into these big one-hit KOs on a lot of Pokemon, unless you're hitting for weakness. Since a lot of these attackers are Psychic-type attackers on player's board, those Jirachis those Dedennes are going to be a good option for getting some KOs, but other than that, there's just not a whole lot, for Rahul to do to take a large amount of prize cards. I guess, what he could do is try to go for the VMAX Rapid Flow, spread some damage, and if he's able to live one turn, somehow maybe stall with Boss, could take multiple prize cards between those of that Eldegoss and the Dedenne. That could be his best option, but we see the Stellar Wish come out. Or it's not the Stellar Wish, sorry, the Chaotic Swell come out. I don't know what I'm talking about. That's going to get rid of the Martial Arts Dojo, which is, of course, going to be really good for player here. And now we see a Tag Switch, which is interesting. So he might be kind of spreading these energies. So he actually puts 2 onto his Dusk Noir there. And he puts another one onto his Mewtwo. So he's actually just going to go ahead and keep 2 on both. Probably pretty smart, of course, to spread those energies, and he's going to go ahead and just get the one-hit KO with that massive Bloom attack. Like I said, extremely useful for sure. Hitting for weakness, that's going to be more than enough. 360 damage. It's going to be taking the KO here. He takes 3 prize cards, and Rahul in a pretty difficult position. No energy in hand as well, so we're going to see what he's going to be doing here. He's going to go ahead and Stellar Wish right off the bat. He has the Escape Rope. He has the Boss, so he could potentially try to stall something out this game, but, doesn't look too good for him. We're going to see if he can progress a little bit more in this first game here. Of course, this is a best of 3 set, so plenty of time left for Rahul to make a comeback. But it's definitely a tough matchup, man. I mean, that Stealthy Hood is really, really important. It really is. Mimikyu is a very good card to deal with this matchup. Of course, you can just get those damage counters onto Mewtwo and Mew GX and kind of stop him from, of course, even attacking with Mewtwo if you have that Mimikyu on the board. But that Stealthy Hood does prevent the Mimikyu. But, the thing is, player has other attackers in his deck. He's got the Gengar Mimikyu GX. He's got the Trevenant and Dusknoir Tag Team GX. So there's just a lot of other Psychic-type attacker options that's in his deck, which is going to make things a little bit better. We see the Escape Rope come in, and the player actually just chooses to go into the Eldegoss, figuring, I'm pretty much living a hit no matter what, so I might as well just go into this thing. It does have the Air Balloon, and it's going to be kind of a free pivot. Now Rahul's like, man, do I just kind of go for the Boss here? Might be the best option. He does have the Goon in 3 nets, so he could have just taken the KO on that Eldegoss, but I don't think that that's going to be your best option, because of course he will probably just get KO next turn. But he does have the Karate Belt attached, which means he is going to be able to go ahead and use his VMAX Rapid Flow, and he chooses to actually try to lock up this Gengar Mimikyu GX in the active spot, and get some damage counters onto the Dedenne, kind of try to stall for a potential to take more prize cards. But we do see that he has one of his last Switch cards in his hand, player just has it, and he's going to be able to just go into the Mewtwo Mew GX and take a KO on Rahul's Urshifu. So that's going to be game number 1. Kind of a quicker game there. A tough matchup. That Stealthy Hood is very, very important. But you know what? We're going to get right into game 2 and see if we can't, see something different come out here. All right, here we go into game number 2 here. Rahul is going to go ahead and flip heads. He does get to choose whether he goes first or not. And of course, he is probably going to choose to go first. That's typically what these Urshifus like to do. Kind of an interesting hand here. He does have 2 Urshifus right off the gate. Does have an energy in hand, which is always going to be nice to get that turn 1 attachment. 2 is Urshifu. That's always going to be pretty important here. We have a Dedenne to draw cards. We actually start with 2 Boss's Orders, which is a little bit sketchy. No switching cards at hand, so quick balling for a Jirachi and perhaps switching into that is not going to be a viable option at the moment. But what we could see here is a quick ball away, maybe one of these bosses. And he could grab a Crobat, could grab a Jirachi, and he's actually going to elect to grab the Crobat here. Now, he could pop the Calm as well, but he chooses to just go ahead and draw 3 here. Finds the Scoop Up Net, but no switch card. Just draws into the another quick ball, Reset Stamp, and the Scoop Up Net. Quick ball's away. The Reset Stamp grabs another. Okay, yeah, so he's kind of figuring, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and grab this Urshifu, and he's actually just going to calm it away, which is a little bit interesting for sure. Kind of thinning out his deck a bit a little bit, and he's going to grab the VMAX. So next turn, he's going to set up for a nice VMAX attack, and on top of that, be able to Dedenne out or even Boss's Order something. So his hand right now is actually really good. You're going to be able to boss something up this turn, or next turn if he is able to, and he's going to be able to evolve his Urshifu and then draw more cards with a Dedenne here. Player here, right off the bat, again, starting with Eldegoss in game 2. Again, not an ideal option. Right off the gate, though, we see the tag call come out, and he's going to grab the Goose Mahala and the Mewtwo and Mew GX, two very important cards for this matchup. He's going to put down that Mewtwo and Mew GX and perhaps just pop this Goose Mahala right here on his first turn, looking for a Stadium card, a Special Energy as well as a Tool card. And you got to think, okay, and he gets the discard immediately on the Jirachi-GX as well as that Vileplume GX. So a very similar starting turn right off the bat for player, just like we saw last game. He's going to be able to grab that Stealthy Hood, which is going to be extremely important to get early on. And we see it's not prized. Grabs the Aurora as well as the Chaotic Swell. So all good things coming. If we have a switch card here, again, we could see another Star Search. And we do have the switch in hand, just like we saw in that first game. It's absolutely insane. He attaches the Stealthy Hood. And we're going to see the Star Search. And he's going to search his deck for another energy and attach it directly to his Mewtwo and Mew GX here. So very good starting turn for player. I mean, to be honest with you, it's about as ideal as you possibly could think. I mean, he had everything he needed that turn, got everything set up here, and now we have the Horror Energy and the Aurora Energy set up again. He does find Rahul finds the Basic Energy, which is going to be good. He elects to actually evolve the bench Urshifu, and he's going to attach to that guy, and he's going to go ahead and just Dedenne away the boss's orders, discarding his second boss as well as a Scoop Up Net. No switch in hand, which is unfortunate for sure. We might be seeing him calm away one of these Pokemon and perhaps maybe even just Dedenne out this turn, which would be unfortunate, discarding all those energies. But he actually elects to just go ahead and grab the Jirachi. He might just manually retreat into this Urshifu. Actually, he can't because he actually only has one energy attached. So he's going to elect to just go ahead and strafe for 30 damage. And now what he can do is go into this Dedenne, which is pretty interesting. Kind of thinking that this Dedenne is safe. Now, the Vileplume attack is only doing 150 damage now, right? So you got to keep that in mind. This Dedenne does have just perfectly enough HP to live an attack, that Massive Bloom attack with the Mewtwo and Mew GX, so could be a viable option. But nothing in Rahul's hand that is going to be, anything progressive. No way to draw some more cards. He's kind of hoping off the top deck he's going to be able to draw into something. But at the very least, he's going to be able to attach to that that Dedenne, and just retreat out manually and go ahead with an Urshifu and get a KO here. It wouldn't be the most ideal thing in the world, but you know what? It is an option. Player here, he goes ahead and just draws 4 with the Crobat, and just kind of looking to progress his board state a little bit more, get some psychic-type attackers down on the board for sure. We see the Cherish Ball come out for him, and potentially, we could see him grab another Gengar Mimikyu, like he did last game, maybe grab the Dust Noir. All good options for sure. But we're going to see exactly what he's planning here. He's kind of looking through his deck too. I don't know if he had time to search through his prize cards last turn. I don't know if we saw that or not. But again, probably going to be a smart option for him to do that. But we're going to go ahead and see. We're going to go ahead and see exactly what he's got planned. Having this Jirachi-GX on Rahul's board is important. But if player here does have like a boss's orders in hand, that could be really disruptive, right? Just being able to get a KO onto that on that Jirachi-GX. He grabs the Incineroar, actually, which technically I think is doing 150 damage right now, which is a bit crazy. And yeah, okay. So he actually discards that that Giratina, which doesn't really seem to be a super useful attacker in this matchup. And he goes ahead and puts the Big Charm on the Eldegoss, so keeps it a little bit safe from getting KO'd. A little bit more safe, rather. And he actually just researches away his hand, so we're not going to see a boss's orders here. Kind of trying to set up, I would assume, for a nice big KO, hopefully, on this Dedenne, or if not, just getting some damage counters off on it, which is going to be good here. Yeah, so he goes for the Calamitous Slash, so that's actually going to be perfectly enough. Correct me, or, you know, I stand corrected that Giratina attack was actually pretty important here. And he has the 3 energies on the Mewtwo and Mew GX, 200 and 40 damage still left on this Pokemon here. We're going to see the Calm. So top taking the Calm was pretty nice here. He can Dedenne out. I keep saying Jirachi. I don't know why. He's going to be able to Dedenne away this hand here, but he does have the capability of attaching the Rapid Strike Energy, which is going to be nice, so he has the option to use that attack this turn. We do see the Air Balloon as well, and another Urshifu V. He's going to Quick Ball away that Urshifu V, though, not super needed. And it looks like grabbing this Jirachi might just be the best option for him, having that on the board here. Now he's going to be able to retreat into the Jirachi Stellar Wish, and then he's going to be able to Scoop Up Net, go back into that Urshifu, and use that G-Max Rapid Flow here. Grabbing the Marnie could be good, but of course, actually just grabbing the Scoop Up Net is another good option as well. But he goes ahead and just grabs that Marnie. Probably for the best. He's going to Scoop Up the Jirachi, go back into the Urshifu, and we're going to see him, you know, at the very least, get some good damage off. And we're actually going to see the double Stellar Wish here, which is pretty interesting. Could grab that Dojo. I think he has 2 in his deck, so maybe just getting 1 out and discarding that Chaotic Swell could be pretty good for him. And he actually just elects to do that for sure, which is kind of the best option. He already had the Marnie in hand. No need to grab another Marnie and put it on the bottom of the deck. So he goes ahead and just does this here. A little bit of lag. A little bit of lag on the stream. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Maybe it was just my my video editor lagging, but he goes ahead into the Urshifu, and we actually see the Marnie come out this turn. Now he does have the Tool Scrapper, which is actually insane. This is a card we did not see last turn. Kind of crazy that the Tool Scrapper is even in this deck, to be 100% honest with you. And he does have the Scoop Up Net in hand, but it's going to be tough, right? So I think his best play, once you get some damage off onto this Mewtwo, I think he's in a much better position now. This Tool Scrapper is going to be extremely good for now, because, you know, even if you know, player Years KOs this Jirachi-GX, which is probably what he wants to do. You know, Rahul still has that Mimikyu in deck, so he can scoop up the Jirachi, maybe Marnie out, and try to find a way to grab that Mimikyu, which could be really, really, really good. Crazy that Rahul's running Tool Scrapper in his list. It's actually like both of these decks were kind of meant to play each other, even though these aren't. I mean, our Rapid Strike for Urshifu is pretty common, but they don't typically run Tool Scrapper, I don't think. But it's actually a pretty smart decision, even with those big charms to get those tag teams out of range from 2-hit KOs. It's actually a pretty smart decision. We're going to see the Marnie come out, which actually, yeah, it's actually not ideal. That Scoop Up Net would have been really good for Rahul. See, now he has the Mimikyu, but he doesn't have a way to pick up anything on his board, so he's going to have to wait until something gets KO'd to potentially use that Mimikyu. But if player just stays in the active spot with this this Mewtwo and Mew GX, then he's going to be in a pretty decent position, as well as Rahul not having any energy in his hand. And we're going to go ahead and see the Whorehouse GX come out. You know, he's going to draw cards until he's got 7. Now he's got 8 cards in his hand, and he's not going to be able to, of course, use any of those cards, which is a little bit unfortunate. Kind of feeding him this Urshifu V because he knows he does have that Mimikyu in his hand. And we're actually just going to see the Strafe for 130, kind of putting this Mewtwo in range of getting KO'd by a G-Max Rapid Flow eventually, which could be extremely good because, of course, you can attach that Rapid Strike Energy. You have Karate Belt. You can go ahead and just use that attack off for 2 energy, or basically 1 energy attachment, which is going to be extremely good. Here comes the second Mewtwo and Mew GX, or at least he grabs one from the deck here. Does put that down on the board, and that's just an opportunity, and he's going to be able to tag switch those energies to this Mewtwo and Mew GX, which is incredibly, incredibly good. This is one that, of course, doesn't have any damage counters onto it, so it's going to be able to attack. Even if that Mimikyu's on board, Rahul needs to get some damage counters off on that Mewtwo in order for it not to be able to attack, right? And that's going to be an important plan here. He puts both of those energies, the Aurora and the Horror energy on, and he actually Dedenne's away that hand, which was another Dedenne and a few other cards, which I kind of missed. But pretty much all the Pokemon that player could want in his deck is in his discard pile, so that's going to be pretty good. Good setup. He's got the double Mewtwo's out here. We do see the Tag Call come out, so potentially could be grabbing... yeah, okay, so maybe just for the shuffle of the deck. I'm not even sure, to be 100% honest with you. Not 100% sure. Unfortunately, the screen's a bit cut off, too, so I can't actually see how many cards are in their deck. which is a little bit unfortunate. I do apologize for that, but this is just something I can't really fix here with the sizing of the capture, capturing the screen on Discord. He actually goes into the Gengar Mimikyu, which should be safe from any sort of, I guess, disruption on Rahul's end. And if you KO this Jirachi, we're not in a terrible position. We actually see him Marnie away his hand, which is going to be pretty bad for Rahul. That Mimikyu is now gone. But we do find the quick ball, so in a research, so not that bad for Rahul whatsoever. Kind of a much slower paced game than last game, right? Both players kind of vying and struggling to get a more dominant board state. Of course, player is up 2 prize cards, and now he is up 3. That Jirachi is KO'd now. So again, he just needs to get 1 KO and an Urshifu VMAX, which is going to be pretty important. But Rahul definitely has a lot of grounds to work with here. We have the boss, we have the escape rope, and we have another energy as well. I think the quick ball here for the Mimikyu is going to be pretty important. You can damage both of these Mewtwo's and kind of just take them out of the game, which is going to be extremely good because that Stealthy Hood is now in the discard pile. So I think that's going to be very, very important here. We could even just go for a Gale Thrust for 30 damage and just kind of put some damage counters onto this Mewtwo to make sure that it's not able to use the attack. But one thing that players could have done, if he had not already used his GX attack, he could have maybe saved it for the Miraculous Duo, healing up the damage from the Mewtwo while also doing enough damage to potentially get a KO, which is a really good attack in this matchup. We actually find the Dojo come out, and he does find the VMAX, so with this air balloon, he's going to be able to retreat out for free. And what he can do here is Great Catcher and just boss up that Mewtwo and Mew GX. But he actually elects to just go ahead and do the 190 to him. So this means that next turn, if this Urshifu doesn't get KO'd, which I don't think it will, if he finds that Rapid Strike energy or the Karate Belt in a basic energy, he's going to be able to take 6 prize cards with 1 attack, which is going to be phenomenal here. We see the Poltergeist, so he's just going to go ahead and KO this Mimikyu GX. And now just 1 boss's orders and 1 KO of a Jirachi-GX or a Dedenne or a Crobat away from winning this game. But Rahul has a research in hand here. He actually has the Great Catcher, so no matter what, he's going to be able to take some prize cards this turn. Discards the research as well as the Jirachi. And again, like I said, he could take multiple prize cards this turn. All 6 to be in fact, and he does find the Rapid Strike energy, so that's going to be it. He's going to D-Max Rapid Flow, hit both of those Mewtwo and Mew GX, and he's going to take 6 prize cards with 1 attack. Absolutely phenomenal. A great game played by Rahul, kind of a comeback there. A lot of people probably didn't expect Rahul to win that game, but you know what? He's a great player. He did prize the Karate Belt. But that's going to be game number 2, guys. So a nice little comeback win from Rahul. An amazing set so far. I'm really excited to get into game 3 and see who wins this massive 440-player tournament. So let's get right into it. All right, Rahul here, since he did win the last game, player is going to be able to choose whether he wants to go first or second. But we are getting into game 3 here. I am extremely excited to get this game going. It's game 3. The first place prizing is on the line. Everything's on the line here for this fantastic grand finals match that I'm just really excited to watch, man. I mean, both players are playing fantastic. Rahul played the last game phenomenally. Having that Tool Scrapper in the deck really makes the difference. But player's deck is phenomenal as well. So it's just a battle of 2 phenomenal decks right now in the format. A really, really interesting matchup. And if you guys are watching this right now, I hope you guys enjoy it because this is some really good level gameplay. I'm really excited for it. Rahul here does get the Urshifu down on the board, but misses the energy. That is fine because, of course, you only need 1 energy to attack with the Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. So getting the V on the board, even without the energy, is going to be really important here. Players here does get the Mewtwo and Mew GX start, at least, which actually might not be super ideal, but we'll see exactly how it goes here. He attaches the Horror Energy. We're going to see the Cherish Ball come out as well, potentially kind of trying to progress his board state. A lot of things he can do here. He can grab Dedenne to draw some more cards. He actually grabs the Gengar and Mimikyu, and now he's going to Quick Ball it away, which is a phenomenal little play here to start the game. Now with his Quick Ball, you could grab a lot of things. So yeah, he's just going to go ahead and grab the Dust Noir. So might have a research in hand. He actually just has a second Quick Ball, so getting those attackers directly in the discard pile. Kind of an interesting play, though, because those are actually really good options to just attack with throughout the game. So it's interesting that he's actually discarding them, and he also discards the Giratina and Garchomp GX as well. With the Dedenne on the board, that's a Pokemon that Rahul can KO pretty easily for a few prize cards. The Giratina is also just right on the board as well. So with a Scoop Up Net in hand, he's going to be able to, of course, get something going here. And he actually researches, so I'm not sure what he researched away. It looks like the Vileplume, maybe another supporter. And he's going to draw a fresh 7 cards here. Gets the Chaotic Swell down, which is going to be pretty important. Pretty important indeed. And we'll see. you know, we'll see what players decides to do here. He's down all 4 Switch immediately, which is something Rahul definitely might be able to take advantage of. Not a great, you know, situation to have all of your Switch cards in your discard pile after your first turn, to be 100% honest with you. But players here, he just whorehouses GX, and Rahul has to just pass. And while players just attaches that second energy, if he gets the KO on this Giratina, that could actually be very good for him. Eliminates any possibility of Rahul discarding any more special energies from players' active Pokemon. So it could be good to get the KO there. He discards the Incineroar GX, which is going to be a great attacker. And he looks like he's going the Reshiram and Charizard route, which is actually pretty interesting. Now, this Reshiram and Charizard GX is most likely in the deck mainly just for that Outrage attack. It's going to be hard for players to get 4 Aurora energies on his Mewtwo and Mew GX. But that Outrage attack can be really useful. Can be definitely very, very useful. We're going to see him at Dedenne away his hand again. So moving quickly through his deck. Something that Mewtwo and Mew GX decks like to do a lot. They like to discard a lot of those Pokemon. Got to move through their deck quickly and accelerate as quickly as possible. Does find the Stealthy Hood, which is probably what he was hoping to find. Of course, does get it. But 2 Jirachis on the board. 2 Dedennes on the board. I made that mistake so many times in this video. I don't know why. But 2 Dedennes on the board for players as well as the Crobat. So Rahul has all of the Pokemon on his opponent's board that he needs to take multiple prize cards. But player here does get the KO on that Giratina. Going to be pretty nice to not really have to deal with that for the rest of the game. And of course, forcing you know, Rahul here to have to double switch. We are going to see just the stamp come out because he's probably thinking, I'm just going to research away this hand. Discards the Switch, the Marnie, the Pokémon, and the Scoop Up Net, which isn't going to be super ideal for him. But does find the second Urshifu, does find the energy, and does find a Quick Ball. So he's going to end a Dedenne as well. So he's going to be able to draw some cards, which is definitely going to be really good, I think. Definitely going to be super, super good. If he finds a way to draw into the Tool Scrapper this turn, that could be phenomenal. I think maybe just preemptively getting that Mimikyu down on your bench and hoping that you draw into the Tool Scrapper could be really clutch. Because if you do draw into a Switch card, which is pretty likely with this Dedenne, you know, then you potentially, of course, could just put yourself in a fantastic position, but probably more smartly grabs the Jirachi, and he's going to go ahead and just attach to this Urshifu V in the active spot. Now he's going to Dedenne away the Zigzagoon, as well as the Research. Finds the Mew, not going to be super useful. Finds a second Jirachi, probably not super useful, and he's going to free retreat. Finds the Tool Scrapper immediately, which is absolutely phenomenal, but no VMAX, which is going to be a little bit difficult for Rahul to get some good damage off this turn. But he can Quick Ball for the Mimikyu, he can Scoop Up Net back into the Urshifu, and he can stray for 30 damage and taking this Mewtwo and Mew GX completely out of the game. Unless, of course, we see a Miraculous Duo, but the GX attack has already been popped, so I think that this is a fantastic play. We're going to see the Tool Scrapper come out, and he's going to scoop up the Jirachi, go into the Urshifu, and the Mimikyu is now on the board, and he's going to go ahead and just strafe, and easily can go right back into this Jirachi, and kind of safe that this Mewtwo and Mew GX is not going to be attacking for the rest of the game. So a phenomenal first turn from both players there, advancing their board states and getting kind of the edge here. Oh, there's actually a second Stealthy Hood in the deck, and he just has it in his hand. Very, very, very tough for Rahul here to see that second Stealthy Hood. You know, not something that you really want to see at all. So, you know, definitely not going to be good for Rahul here. Everything he just worked for last turn, kind of disappointing. I didn't even know there was a second Stealthy Hood in the deck. That is absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd. And he's going to KO that Jirachi, so, you know, not in a great position, and he discards both of those Fighting type energies with the Dust Noir attack there. That effect, absolutely insane. Draws into the boss, and does just have the second Jirachi in hand, which is pretty fortunate, to be honest with you. So he's going to be able to just retreat. He actually bosses up that Reshiram and Charizard, but now doesn't really have anything else to do. Doesn't really draw into anything that's super progressive. He could grab the Dojo. Elects to just grab the boss here, and he's going to have to just go ahead and pass his turn. So not very phenomenal for Rahul. Looked like he was in a really good position there, but then players just finds the second Stealthy Hood, KOs the Jirachi. And all of a sudden, you know, the tables have turned 100%. We see the Goose Mahala come out for players, so he's going to be able to, of course, find those 3 important cards that are going to be really good for him. I think he already has the Swell out, but he's going to be able to grab, you know, a Special Energy and a Tool card, which could probably be a Scoop, or not a Scoop Up Net, an Air Balloon or a Big Charm, right? So both of those could be really useful in this situation. He could attach and just retreat out of the Reshiram and Charizard, but we see, so he actually just elects to grab the Big Charm and the Aurora Energy. So, you know, we're going to see exactly what player decides to do here. Slowly but surely just taking prize cards, which is, you know, obviously going to be really good. Rahul here hasn't really gotten a lot of damage off on the board. His hand is pretty much dead. Just not really drawing into anything phenomenal this game. And overall, unless he top decks something really good, or else this Jirachi survives this turn, which it does, he's going to be able to do some things. And he actually finds the energy as well at the top deck. Only finds the Pokecom off the Jirachi, though, which is very, very upsetting for sure. If you're Rahul, he's going to attach to that second Urshifu, and now he's actually just going to have to pass his turn, and that Giratina is in the discard pile, so you cannot discard that that Aurora energy or any energies from player's board. And we see the second energy just attached to the Reshiram and Charizard, and he actually attaches the Big Charm, which is interesting. He might just be kind of sitting in the active spot with this Reshiram and Charizard, kind of just waiting to get attacked so he can just outrage and KO something. But he does bench that that last Mewtwo and Mew GX, the second one rather, and fills up his entire bench. And we're going to see the research come out. So players not having too many cards left in his deck, I don't think really at all. And he's down all 4 Switch cards. So Rahul right now might be thinking his best play might actually just be to try to boss something up into the active spot and just try to stall and just kind of wait for him to deck out without any way to switch out. But of course, I do think players has a lot of energy left in his hand or in his deck. Not a lot of cards left in his deck, but he should have plenty of energy still. And that outrage just does 60 to the Jirachi, doesn't actually KO it, which is pretty hilarious. We do see the research in Rahul's hand, so he could choose to research away this turn here. We see the Karate Belt, which could be really good. And potentially give him the ability to use the VMAX Rapid Flow on an Urshifu VMAX this turn without attaching, without needing to find the double Rapid Strike energy. But kind of an interesting situation. I don't know if you really want to discard another boss's orders if you're Rahul, because that boss strategy does seem pretty viable at this point. You're all out of Tool Scrappers. You're just in a pretty difficult position. This Reshiram and Charizard is just one attachment away from perhaps retreating or just doing another outrage attack if you do attack into it. So kind of an awkward position. He actually just goes ahead and attaches the Karate Belt to that other Rapid Strike Urshifu V and passes his turn. So again, a very awkward position for Rahul to be in. We see the other Aurora energy attached to the Reshiram and Charizard. And now if he does have that fourth Aurora to attach to the Reshiram and Charizard, we could see the Flare Blitz come out. And the second boss's orders off the top of the deck here. For Rahul. So now I think his best strategy is, in fact, to just boss up that Mewtwo and Mew GX and hope that players just doesn't have the energy. That might just be his best play, which is a little bit unfortunate, I think, for sure. But you know what? There's only so much you can do. And yeah, and we're gonna see how this goes. We're gonna see how this goes here. I think it's better than just researching away because, of course, your board state isn't really good enough to where you can kind of feel confident in doing that. And we're actually just going to see him retreat and then strafe, and he's going to go right into that other Urshifu V. So an interesting situation, but players has a really large hand, still has a few cards left in his deck, so I'm sure he probably has access to 2 energies. There's one, and it's going to be a Horror that he attaches to this Mewtwo and Mew GX immediately here. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see exactly what goes on. He actually just attaches the Big Charm to it as well. Which is interesting because we do not see the Air Balloon yet. He could have actually just kept the Air Balloon. But now, just one energy attachment away from being able to not only attack with this Mewtwo Mew GX or just retreat out in general. We do find, off that research, we do find the Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX for Rahul. We find Escape Rope. We find another energy. So a lot of good things in his hand, but it might be just too much too late, right? There might just not be enough for Rahul to kind of come back in this situation. Still has to take 6 prize cards. Very little damage off on the board, but I still think Rahul has the capabilities to take away this game from players here. But he's going to have to be a little bit lucky, I do think. He actually comes away the Urshifu VMAX, which is interesting. Perhaps just thinning out the deck so he can look through it a little bit. And we kind of get an idea of what's left in his deck as well. Not sure exactly what the best play would be for him at this point. You have to be careful, right? That Jirachi-GX nowhere to be found, so you are kind of getting hit for weakness, which is never ideal. It might be prized actually. I think that Jirachi-GX is prized, which is very tough. He attaches the second basic energy to that Urshifu V, which does mean that of course he's going to be able to use that G-Max Rapid Flow attack, which could be really useful right now. But he needs to draw into it with his Crobat. He actually just elects to draw 2 with the Crobat, which was pretty interesting. And we're actually just going to see the 100 Blows attack, which does 150 for 3 energy, but does take 2 damage counters in the process. Now this Rapid Strike Urshifu V is all but KO'd and done for if players does have another energy in his hand, or at least a way to draw into it. I mean, we'll see. But definitely going to be a little bit awkward for Rahul. Chooses to hold on to that Dojo, which actually might be kind of smart for him. You know, we'll see. It's a little bit rough. It's a little bit rough right now for Rahul. I'm not going to lie. The board state is definitely a little bit more advantageous for players right now, and he is up 3 prize cards. And if he KOs this Urshifu V, again, he's just like a boss's orders away from winning. We see the tag switch come out, which is actually super interesting. I'm not sure exactly what the reasoning for this. He actually takes 1 energy off the Reshiram and Charizard GX, which is interesting because... Okay, so this is very interesting for sure. So after we see the KO in this Urshifu V, we could see the escape rope from Rahul and kind of hoping that if players doesn't have another energy, then he wins the game. But we'll see. You know, it all comes down to if players has this energy. If he does, you know, if he does have that energy, then... you know, he wins. If he doesn't, then Rahul still has a chance, but taking another 2 prize cards here. So the likelihood of him having just 1 extra energy is extremely, extremely high. And we're going to go ahead and see that Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX off the top deck, which is going to be nice. So we are going to be able to get, you know, that 150 damage off, potentially 190 even with the dojo. So that's actually going to be pretty clutch here. And he's actually going to choose to just Marnie and hopefully... I guess draw into some goodness here. He draws into 2 Scoop Up Nets, the Jirachi and the Switch, which I guess is a bit better than nothing. And he actually just elects to retreat into this Jirachi, and he's going to go ahead and Stellar Wish for a couple times. Doesn't find anything there, just finds the Urshifus as well as the Rapid Strike energies. And we're going to go ahead and scoop it up, go back into the Urshifu, put back down the Jirachi, switch back into it, and use the Stellar Wish once more. Finds the escape rope this time, so again, that's kind of one play that Rahul's going to be able to do here. So if he does pop the escape rope, and which he does here, players is going to be forced to either go into probably, well, really any of these Pokemon, and as long as he has 1 energy attached, or 1 energy to attach, you know, he's going to be able to win the game here. Rahul kind of forced to get some damage off this turn, so he does probably have to go into that Urshifu V. The other only thing he could go into is the Crobat, which probably isn't the best decision for him. So it looks like going into this Urshifu V and just kind of... Well, I guess because we went into the Dedenne, that kind of means that player probably... Well, actually, he might not have the energy, right? And he might be hoping for Rahul to KO that Dedenne so he can just come in and get the KO. Because, again, he does have 6 prize cards to work with. But... Again, if players has the energy, then he wins the game right now. So it's definitely an awkward situation for Rahul. We're going to go ahead and see him just pass the turn here. Alex, you know, if I KO this Dedenne, then I lose the game. So we're going to see the well played from players, which means he does have that last energy, and he's going to go ahead and just attach it to the Dedenne. He's going to go ahead and retreat out. He actually just bosses up the Mimikyu, which... you know, he didn't really need to do. And we're going to see the manual retreat out, go into the Mewtwo Mew GX, and KO this Mimikyu for his last prize card. So that is going to be it. A nice, clean 6-0 sweep in this final game here. A really tough game for Rahul off the draws. This Mewtwo Mew GX deck, absolutely phenomenal. Both players played so well. It was a super entertaining Grand Finals match. I hope you guys enjoyed. It went to Game 3, and that's definitely a matchup that you know, we probably didn't expect to see in Finals. Nonetheless, go to a Game 3. So both decks were phenomenal. Both players were phenomenal. And I'm just really happy that I was able to watch that game and share it with you guys. I've been Matty from Chill TCG. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to register for the GG Tour tournament coming up. Don't forget to register for Chill Series next week. Don't forget to like the video, click subscribe. Link to register, everything will be down in the description below. I've been Matty from Chill TCG. I'm going to get out of here.